All right, welcome back. M-Dog here once again, and we're at Bear here. This is a very famous spot to fish for carp here at Bear. In fact, if you're trying to figure out places to test at Bear, even in the future from now, this is definitely one of the places you want to check. Lately, I feel like requests for videos about Bear has been one of the most frequent things I've heard. So I thought we would just do a few minutes here. I'm not saying we're going to spend a lot of time on this video, but do a few minutes here and just really test to see if this spot is active. I'm just kind of reading some things that makes me think this spot might be picking up a little bit. And if there's any kind of bite frequency at all on some decent carp, it is worth checking out for Bear. Now, my experiences with Bear have always been so hot and cold. I've not really had many experiences at Bear, at least for carp fishing. Occasionally with like barbel tench, it can be a little bit more consistent. But with carp fishing, I feel like, man, you'll get a decent hour where you'll make some silver and catch some carp, and then it'll go really cold on you. So keep that in mind. But let's, again, look at the spot we're at. We're clip 21. I've intentionally spread the rods out a little bit because we're sort of attacking the same spot, but really from different angles. 21 clip on all three, and also the same bait layout for all three. We're using banana. This is, so again, when you're approaching Bear, if you're wanting to use boilies, there are some boilies that seem to cycle around in Bear more often than others. Banana, cocos and cream, esterberry. I mean, there's like a few that I feel like again, honey, there's that honey combo that sometimes is good at Bear, but it definitely has a different feel than amber. But this is what we're doing, and then a very, very banana-centric PVA that I saw someone mention on the, where was this found? Discord. I think under the trophy section, someone caught a really nice, maybe a black carp here, using this kind of banana PVA. So, now if you're at Bear and you don't have access to boilies yet, let's say you've just gotten here and you're leveling up your bottom fishing, you can still always fish for carp. If the carp are active, the carp are going to be active. And if you can't use boilies or just don't have all of the gear yet and don't want to invest in everything to set up a nice carp rig for boilies with all of the lead cores and everything, you can first sort of test a spot just by using some of the normal carp baits. Potatoes are going to be your best friend here at Bear. And in fact, I even thought about starting this video with just like potatoes and cheese and stuff like that in the water to see kind of how the carp were biting. But if you want to test that, if you find out there's an active spot at Bear, just go throw potatoes in the water. Cheese, peas, corn, cabbage, algae, a lot of the natural baits, cornmeal, honey dough, oatmeal dough, egg dough. I mean, all of these will typically catch carp, even bread. I mean, if the carp are active, the carp are active, you know. But what is nice is if you're a little higher level and you're working Bear into your rotation, if you find out that there is a boilie combination with dip and PVA and kind of the full menu, that might actually give you a higher chance of not just finding the carp, but actually getting some really decent ones. That's always really fun. And I haven't done this yet, but let's check the weekly Bear records. One way you can do this, you can always check grass carp. If Bear's on fire, you might see some grass carp records here. I mean, and that goes with all of the carp that's here on Bear. Sometimes it's Bear's so good that some of the weeklies will be on there. So, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm like, it looks like grass carp at least are crazy on Bear right now. And a lot of these were caught here recently towards the end of the week. Again, you see potatoes. You almost always want to have potatoes in the water when you're fishing at Bear. And this is a decent carp here. Wow, okay. But the thing we really want to look at, we look at the grass carp weeklies there first, and if we can get this carp in, then next thing we'll look at is the black carp weeklies. That's really what you want to see, because getting on the grass carp is one thing, but if you can get on an active carp spot and catch a decent frequency of black carp, that's where bear can all of a sudden become, it can compete with some of the later lakes in terms of silver and XP if you're getting nice black carp. I would say 98% of the time, if you have amber unlocked, that's probably going to be a better option overall if you're just looking for like active carp, silver XP per hour. But there are those rare occasions where, because of the black carp especially, or if bear is just especially hot, it is worth coming back to bear and working it into your rotation. I really need to do this more often. Sometimes when I have limited time, sometimes it just feels easier, like, okay, let's just stick with amber right now. Amber is such a big place and so complicated at times to try to stay on top of the trends and all that. It's enough just to be at amber. It's gonna be a nice carp though. We're trying to get our energy back, of course. Keep some tension on the carp without doing too much damage to our reel, preferably. Now, I don't have the strength in this rig that I would if I was using it at amber. And the only reason why I did that, I dialed back the leader size, so I dialed back the line size and everything, is because at least some of the posts I was seeing on Discord, it looked like people weren't using their full strength amber gear. And I don't know if that was intentional or not. Seems like it might be. But I'm actually using, and this might be worth noting, I'm using 60 centimeter 27 fluorocarbon leaders. So homemade leaders there. To try to target some of these cautious, especially the black carp. And we'll see if it makes a difference or not. I don't know. Again, if I was going to get a lot of time in it bear, I would definitely test this in comparison to my normal carp setup for amber. Because, you know, we're easily getting another like 9 kilos of strength out of my normal setup compared to what we're using here. So, and certainly trophy or really large black and grass carp fight as well as about anything. So it's not ideal giving up power here unless it is going to help you catch better fish. But we're in no danger of this fish spooling us or anything. We do have braided line on. We've got tons of line on the spool, and you can tell it's already, while it's still hard to reel in, you know, it's not running like it was. It may get another run or two in it, but it won't be too bad, I don't think. So this is our second fish, but both bites happened fairly quickly, and the third line's getting another bite on it, which is a good sign. Always feel bad when somebody says hello in chat and I can't respond. But typing in chat is a good way to lose a fish. All of a sudden start swimming towards you and you've got slack, and if you've got the chat text bar open, that's not a good combination. And we have multiple fish on now. The left rod, rod 1, it must not be too big of a fish. Well, it's pulling line a little bit, but I don't think I had set that friction brake up. So if it was a decent fish, it would be pulling that 16 friction brake pretty hard right now. I am pleased though. I mean, I didn't know how long we would have to wait to see some decent fish, and it looks like we're on them immediately here at Bear, and that's not always the case for me. So this must be a pretty nice spot right now. And you're kind of catching this spot on the front end, I feel like. Unless I've missed it, I've not heard a lot about this spot recently. So, and look at this. This is neither a black or a grass, but it is a decent carp nonetheless. Yeah, very nice. $21 kilo mirror at Bear Lake. Wow. I will take it. All right, let's go ahead and get this puppy in. I bet this isn't a very big fish. Again, I just had my friction break down. And then I think the fish on the right rod will actually be a little bigger than this. We will see, but that is my suspicion. So the nice thing here, we've gotten 3 mirrors in a row, and we'll see if we see anything other than mirrors, but mirrors, when there's mirrors active in a spot, that means that we will see more activity at night than if they were not active. All right, there's our first grass carp. And so from the pool of grass carp, we hope to pull a black carp every once in a while. All right, so we'll see how long we have to wait. We had 3 fish close to each other, and so that was pretty exciting. All right, let's look at weeklies and scroll down to black carp. Yeah, look at Bear right now. All right, so here's the banana setup, and that's what we're using. We've also got peach, cocos and cream. Cocos and cream is often a good bait here at Bear. And of course potatoes. And you'll see potatoes on Bear list all the time. And that's on one hand because potatoes work great at Bear, but that's also on the other hand because a lot of people use potatoes at Bear. So it sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy to a degree. But, I mean, I definitely recommend it. You know, if you're testing a spot out, at least have potatoes on one line to really get a good feel of what that spot's like. And the only reason why I'm not doing that is because I had heard that bananas were working good. So we're fully embracing the bananas right now. All right, let's see what this is. It's almost 1 a.m. We've already caught so many mirrors. That's what you would think it might be, but nope, it's another grass. And the only thing that is exciting about catching grass carp is that the hope is that you'll also land a nice black carp. But everything's marker so far. We are using large 1 hooks. Make sure I've told you everything that we're doing here. I don't know how much longer I'll go on the video, but I am curious to see, we'll go at least a little bit longer because I want to see if the mirrors are active through the night at all. If we see any more here, usually you will. Mirror carp's the one carp that I feel like you often can count on. Again, if they're active in a spot, that kind of turns it into a 24-hour exciting spot. They seem to feed at night as much as any type of carp, in my opinion. And 0 commons so far, which isn't necessarily a good thing. It's just an interesting thing. Commons compare favorably to grass carp. But again, grass carp means that, hey, maybe we'll hit a black carp. Bear's another place, just like Octuba, that it often is shorter clips, and so a nice place if you're wanting to run some, hey, look what it is. We were just talking about you, buddy. If you want to run match rods and get some float fishing in for carp, or even really big telesticks, can be good on bear as well. Yeah, I am really pleased, at least thus far, with the bite rate here. So where we're casting this rod from is actually 54.63, and again, we're just trying to get some different angles here. This one's over in 55, and this will be 55 as well. But really fishing the same spot. Two commons in a row there. 2 grass and 3 mirrors. They've been swimming through at different times, I suppose. But 3 different carp species responding well to the banana setups. That is a good sign. And I suspect that if you're lucky, you'll also get blacks in this spot as well. And of course, with potatoes, you can always throw some carp ground bait in. Thankfully, bear is not always as PVA impacted compared to amber. So if you don't have PVA unlocked and there's a hot spot at bear, I think you're more likely to find that your results will be more similar than if you are trying to keep up with the hot spots at amber without PVA. Not that it can't be done, especially if you're spotting or slingshotting the right ground bait or PVA combinations into the water, but at least typically I don't think that bear is as dependent. We've gone this long. Let's just go ahead and see what the rest of the overnight and then just the very beginning of the morning feels like before we wrap it up. I was hoping to get one more vid done. Well, I wasn't planning on doing this one. Kind of talked myself into it. I also wasn't planning on doing that earlier video at Tuba in the pond. So I've kind of added 2 that I wasn't planning on. But I was hoping to get one back at amber, and I'm not sure at this point, looking at the time, if that will happen or not. We'll see. Well, this carp just took off. Is that a... Yeah, it looks like a... Is that a... Definitely a mirror, right? Alright, so let's get some more banana strike on there. So really nice layout of carp so far. To have spent, 19 minutes here. The spot is looking really nice. Getting some good digs in as well. Every one of these fish have been a marker. Solid carp. There's a little common, 3-4 kilo, maybe 5. And per usual, you're looking at about a 21 clip here. When I have fished this spot before, I think I've gone from 20, 21 all the way up to maybe 23. That definitely has felt like the range though. I think 21, 22 probably the most common clips I've used, and 21 by far the most often. That's interesting. That's a nice one. Swimming around a good bit. It swam right for the shore and then beelined back out. You could see in the way the line responded. Gotta be careful when it's pulling. Don't want to lose too many carp, especially decent ones like this. Just take a little bit more time getting it in if you have to. Let it run if it wants to run. That looks like another mirror, doesn't it? Yeah. Nice little mirror. Tell you, the mirrors are feeding on this banana. They really are. 21, 11, couple of nice mirrors, especially here at Bear. Okay, so, but the mirrors on weeklies, surely Bear's not keeping up with Amber. There's been some nice mirrors at Amber, yeah. I would think even on individual servers, you're gonna have all Amber. We checked black. And then there's also leather carp here. And then besides black carp, that's it. I mean, we're a leather carp and a black carp away from having... And leather's definitely going to be amber. Again, amber's been pretty active. All right, so first light. Let's give it just a couple more minutes here and see what pops onto our lines. All right, that's the smallest fish we've seen. Still a marker though. I'm really aiming, especially from these left poles, really aiming over the weeds. We're landing sort of 21 meters out just over those reeds, and I think you could make the argument that you might even be best suited. Again, different angles are hitting this different, but getting in that 3-5 hole. That might be a good strategy, is to really try to hit that 3-5. Possibly overcast. Small one. Alright, so to hit the 3.5 from here, it's more like this. Let's try this. And I think from over here you can kind of see that those reeds, you know, it's not like they keep going. So we're not throwing into the reeds. It's definitely just beyond them. And I think that the 21 clip is getting into the edge of the 3.5. This angle is kind of most comfortable hitting it. You could even go 22 clip from over here just to give yourself a little bit more distance. These are a little closer. I don't know, whatever it is, it seems to be working. Although tiny commons have come out here the last two fish. Still markers, but I mean these juveniles aren't worth anything really, comparatively. That was not the best dig we've ever had. Alright, see if we can get you one more fish here before we wrap it up. The VK site doesn't even have this as an active spot right now at Bear, but again, I think it's just because it's so recent that it has picked up. Carp fishing is not for everybody. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's probably my favorite thing to do in RF4. But I get the people who feel like it's a little too passive. I mean, you have to be patient at times. Although this spot has not required too much patience. I want to make sure that carp is fully on there before we pick up the lines. I like to not only see the constant pull, but also see that the line's moving. Like now that line is definitely moving. I think both of these lines are now have fish on them. Is that another small? Oh, okay, it's a gibble. I was like, man. a little better. I'm really surprised at how active the mirrors are. Yeah, I'm going to clip this at 22. Think it'll be fine. Alright, that was one more fish. Why is that ripple happening? It's not raining. Interesting. That's the third rod. I mean, that's the rod we just put back in. It looks like it's already getting some trembles, like something is nibbling. Mirror again. Wow. Bear is being generous right now. We're still getting those ripples. It looks like the ripples are coming from the third line, not the second. Yeah, now we're getting a little pull as well. Wow, that was a quick something on the second line, huh? Okay. Not bad. Decent carp. Look at all these mirrors. I really thought we were going to come here and, you know, run into a bunch of grass carp. I had heard that the black carp were possible at Bear right now, so I figured we would see a much higher percentage of grass carp. We're actually, in fact, seeing a very healthy mix of almost all of the carp species here, and still hoping that maybe a random black carp will come in now and again, but I don't know. I'm starting to think that whoa, okay, well, there goes the line. So, I don't know. Anyway, I guess it finally turned into something. Mirror again. So let's just quickly show you as an example, just at 30 minutes. For bear, I think this is going to be pretty solid. We really haven't had too many big boys coming in yet. So that's 173. Not bad at all. I was going to say not bad at all for bear. It's really not bad at all for just about anywhere. All right. Well, I'm going to cut it off now, but I'm going to keep fishing here for a little while. This has been good enough to stay, I think. But I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. And I know a lot of you have been asking about bear and spots to try on bear. As folks have started to get a little higher level and started to be able to afford some carp gear, but can't quite make it to amber yet. And you could certainly do a lot worse than this place here. So hopefully it'll be helpful for you. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.